What's up, guys? It's your girl Riva, and I am back again with another video. If you are new to this channel, hi, my name is Riva. It's very nice to meet you. Before we get into this video, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up. And as I always say, make sure that you guys leave your comments in the comment section down below. No matter how you feel about the video, we all want to talk about it. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON. And for today's video, I'm super excited because this video is what should men bring to the table. And the reason why I'm excited about this video is because I feel like modern women has been the topic, right? So we have modern women who are going to officially state what they are expecting a man to bring to the table. And as we know, a lot of modern women kind of stand with their hand out, so they don't really necessarily bring much to the table. So I'm really intrigued on what they're going to say that they're expecting from a man at this point, especially with how society is running right now. So you guys, if you're already, always on my channel, you already know how I like to do it. I like to go ahead and get right into the video. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it.
I'm going to start with father. Got little daddy issues I'm going to get off my chest. So I'm going to start there. To be honest with y'all, there's a difference between a dad and a father. A father is usually just pretty much a sperm donor. He felt like he lent his sperm to help in the creation of the child, and he did his part. Whereas dad, he's going to make sure that the child is provided for, the home is okay. He's going to make sure he does what he has to do to show support to his child and to the mother in the relationship as well. Also, a good father to me is just somebody that doesn't speak life into the child, is going to reprimand the child, teach him respect, diligence, just an all-around good character. And my issue with my father, he just never keeps it real. All I want to do is just have a conversation. And my father doesn't do that. He's very evasive. Like, he always want to talk about God and the weather. And then I find that my mom has actually been filling that void, but at the end of the day, she's not a man.
You're going to be a great father, Oliver.
Thank you.
Seriously, that was great.
Thank you.
My daughter's father, he's very responsible when it comes to our daughter. He's very active, does the homework, takes her to school, picks her up from school, have talks with her, cooks food for her, gives her baths. First and foremost, he always made sure he provided for her. He didn't have a father growing up, so he's learning how to be active in his daughter's life too, and he's definitely doing a really good job. I don't know about some other men. I hear stories from, some of my friends, and I'll be like, damn, shit, I was lucky.
Because I just think it's deeper than just the finance. I think
it's definitely deeper. He's there, because he could have been a man. I've been like, bitch, I'm going to give you $500 a week. Don't bother.
Wait, okay, so I'm glad that he said that, because I was just a little bit taken aback at what he was saying, because I was trying to understand, but I agree with that 100,000,000%. People try to act like being a father has everything to do with money and everything else comes secondary. And that's actually, anybody can give you money. Like, literally, the system gives you money for your children. But what can they instill in your children? What can they teach them? What can they give them to make these children grow into great adults for the society that we live in? You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that he said that point. It's way more than money. And a lot of times you have bitterness, which makes people feel like it has everything to do with money. And if you're not giving a certain dollar amount, that, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But there's so much more that goes into raising a child than finances. So I'm super glad that he said that, because if he didn't say that, I was going to say it.
Like, pay for your sitter, pay for it, because there's some men that's like that.
I feel like a good father is just being there. I just be present. Be there, teach, provide, whatever you have. Like, my father didn't have much, but he was in my life the whole time. Being a good father is not about money. It's about love, protection, direction, teaching. And I feel like that's why I got so much principle and so much loyalty. It's for my father. I'm loyal to the T.
And men.
And that's why it's important, how she said, just being there. And that's why it's important that in certain situations that, you don't, as a woman, let your emotions, even as a, if it was a single father who keeps his children away from the mother, which is a rare case that you ever hear about. But a lot of times you hear situations of women keeping the children away from the father, and it's not hurting anyone else but the children at the end of the day, because that presence from both parents are so necessary in children's life and in their development and growth. So I'm glad that she said that.
Typically have a different path than women in this world. So you had to lead by example as a man. Most daughters, sons look up to their father for knowledge. I think being insightful with that knowledge and teaching is the responsibility of a father. I feel like you have to teach them how to be the best them, or teach them how to go out to be the best them, and teach them what to watch out for. Men deal with a lot of sharks, so we know how to spot out a shark. So we have to give that insight to our children. Guys have to provide for their children somehow, some aspects, because every aspect in every situation is different. Maybe you could be present there, or maybe he can't be that present, but guess what? He'll do the week's worth of work for the time that he's not present. I have to make sure that my child's in the home that is suitable for growth. If she can't afford it, I have to find a way to meet the expectations that I want to have for my child. Women get the appraisal for being a good mom, being a single mom, and all these things, but a good father doesn't get any credit. The responsibility for a father is so hard, and it's so much of a tangible and intangible responsibility.
What it sounds like to me is that the onus is on a man to make sure he creates a child with a good woman, with someone who is going to have a loving home, who's going to be nurturing to their child, who's not going to be on some bullshit, who's not going to wreak havoc in the household.
I feel like that's goes both ways.
That's a great point. I'm not really sure how we're on like this father. I didn't, as you guys know, I don't watch the videos beforehand, so I'm not sure about this father part. I thought it was just going to be about like men in general, because that's what the title says. But I think that's a good point too. I think that's a good point that she said that he has to make sure that he is choosing the right person, because a lot of people have it the other way around. A lot of people have it misconstrued. So I really like that. I like this dialogue right now. I like the things that they're saying.
Because there's a lot of men who have
We're talking about men.
I know that, but I feel like that's a general statement. If we speak on a general statement, then you have to take into consideration of the counterparty. And women need to make sure that they have children with good men.
The men today, they're not as handy as, for an example, my father. Like, my dad is a roofer. He's always had hard jobs, hard work. But that's my personal. That's my personal.
Smart, not versus hard.
But that's because now I feel like, you can call someone to put up a whatever. But that to me, it's like, so I don't know why it's so attractive, and it makes me feel so happy to see like my dad still doing that for my mom.
A man's job is to get it done, right?
Right.
I did it. Or I called the handyman. I got it done.
I
so
guess
why
that's
am I less of a man?
Maybe that's like, no, I don't think it's less of a man. I'm saying the men are different today.
I disagree. It's less of a man. I'm sorry. I went on a date with a guy, and he was like, I wanted to get my TV put up. I had to call this guy, and he canceled on me. And I was like, you can't put up your own TV.
that's what I'm saying.
For me, I had a job where I had to take down and put up pipes. Okay? I basically could do plumbing work. So if a man comes to me talking about he can't put up a TV,
it's almost the same thing as what...
I think that's masculine of her to say. I think that's very masculine of her to say, like, well, I had a job that I had to put up pipes. So if you can't put up a TV, I think that's super masculine. And then and now, when it comes to men being handy, I feel like there's different people who are just not good at certain things. And exactly, if you can get the job done, there's people who you can literally pay to do certain jobs, and they'll be able to efficiently do it for you. And you just keep it pushing, keep it moving. And I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. Everybody is not great at everything. Every person cannot do quote unquote like mount their own TV without the fear that they're going to even break it or drop it, or, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think that makes you any less of a man. And if that's the case, then we should talk about the women who can't cook from scratch. Does that make you less than a woman, that you can't necessarily cook from scratch, that you literally buy stuff that's all, no disrespect, but you buy stuff that's all like pre-made, you just have to throw it in the microwave or throw it in the oven and it's ready? That would be a fair argument then if that's the case, just being honest.
expect from a woman. Women are expecting these men to know how to do things. And realistically, not all men know how to do everything that you guys are expecting them to know how to do. Are we going to say that if you have the money to eat out every day because you don't cook in your own home every day, are you going to be looked at as less of a mother? Because
yes, you get with a man, you should, even if you don't know how, bruh, just sit there and just try to learn. What's the problem? You understand? I had a man that if he didn't know how to change a lock on the door or change a bolt, let me go on YouTube right quick and figure this out.
Yo, but like,
you understand? So what's the
problem?
problem?
The man being responsible.
But a lock on the doors, I think that's different than mounting a TV on your own. I think that's super different. I think that's two very, very different things.
It's how you was raised.
If I'm a boss and I'm running all these different types of businesses, and maybe I'm not super successful, but maybe I'm making 6 figures a year running my businesses, and I never spend the time to learn how to be a handyman, now I'm less of a man. But if I'm a person who has a lot of time doing handyman things and something breaks around the house and I can fix it, but I only make $60,000 a year, I'm too broke to be with a high-value woman. So it's so unfair when we talk about the responsibilities of a man and then we put it into
what he could do.
Yeah, like what he could versus what he does. My thing is, if a man gets the job done, he gets the job done. I don't care how you have to do it. If I have to run 10 companies and now that 10 companies allows me to pay for somebody to put the TV on the wall, just be happy you got a brand new flat screen TV on the wall.
The most important thing is that you can count on your father to get it done. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about what a man is responsible for when it comes to dating and courting.
When you're dating, that's up to you to be like, okay, is this a woman that I want to pursue? Mm-hmm. That's when you start the courting. Now, your responsibility when you're courting a woman is to let it be known that you want to be with her. I'm not saying I want to be with you, Erin. I'm talking about show her things. Take her out on more dates. Cash app her some lunch money, bro. Like, do stuff to show her, like, shorty, I'm into you. That is your responsibility. Now, what a lot of dudes do is that they cross signals. They be treating the chicks that they really don't want to be with. They be courting them. Like, doing, like, you understand? Like, some dudes, like, letting them spend the night at your house. You know this is a jump off. You know you're going to have the next chick over there. Why are you doing that? You're sending the wrong message, and that's how a lot of men get tied up in situations they don't really want to be in.
So honesty.
It's honesty. But even, you got to know your boundaries, too. Think about your boundaries. I don't want to go this far with this woman, so why am I letting her in my home, in my bed?
And dating, you are responsible for paying that first bill. You're also responsible for making sure that you go to your first date very presentable. If this is my first date with Nikki, do not go there with a fucked up haircut and no shape up. Don't do that. When it comes to courting, you are responsible for letting go of your other women. Whether or not you want to be honest with her, if you had them before, you have to let them go. So if you're talking to 5 or 6 girls that you're just talking to, but I'm courting her, I got to let go of the 5 other girls so I can really focus and hone in on what Nikki is having to offer and what we can build and where we can grow.
Wow, I actually agree with everything you said.
I loved your answer.
Yeah.
Not vague at all.
I can't.
Beautiful, actually.
Yeah, that was a great answer.
Okay, I'm sorry, the whole dating, I just gotta look cute on the first date. That shit was bullshit.
I only think the man is really responsible when it comes to the courting stage, because that's when you know, like, you're going to the next level. That's my personal opinion. So I agreed with everything you said. I thought it was great.
What is a man responsible for when it comes to the bedroom?
Okay.
But I want to jump this off.
Okay.
So I think that a man is responsible for making sure the woman enjoys the experience. Because let's be real, a man is gonna get his regardless. If you do a bunch of rubbing, the shit is something gonna pop out. Because real talk, she gonna run your name through the mud if you don't make it right.
Yeah, and especially me, I'm gonna talk shit about you so bad.
Right?
A man in a bedroom, I feel like your job is to cater and to lead. I feel like if you can't cater to a woman, you shouldn't be having sex. Some men is just so selfish. A woman could be selfish and I could still turn you on. But if you're a man and you're just worrying about yourself, it's not going to be good for the woman. And I feel like the more you cater to the woman, the more the freakier she gets. If you don't cater to me and I'm doing everything and I'm doing that kind of like, got to lead everything, it gets annoying. I like a man in the bedroom that will literally lead me to like take charge in different positions, like, you know, grab me up, you know, tell me things, cater to me, make sure that I'm feeling good, like stuff like that.
I feel like this dialogue I feel like it started off way more in depth and it got a lot lighter as the conversation went on. Like, what should a man bring to the table in dating? I think that's kind of an unnecessary question. I wasn't feeling anything about the answer. I feel like what he said as an answer was the bare minimum. And dating, and he's talking about like, oh, you have to like let the other people go to focus on her if you're courting. I mean, I feel like that's relative. I feel like that's relative in each relationship, depending on what, you know, kind of relationship that you're having. I just feel like that was all bare minimum and kind of like swept under the rug. And I feel like the reason why is that because there's no reason to ask these kind of questions, right? Like, I feel like this conversation is just because of a lack of better words, because a lot of the pressure nowadays is more on the women when it comes to dating, when it comes to what they should bring to the table. I feel like that's why the conversation has gotten lighter, because there's not much you can say. Because, I mean, in dating, what should a man bring to the table? To make sure that you have a good time. Like, the same thing that the woman is. You're trying to get to know each other. You're trying to build anything. So you don't necessarily have a responsibility at the point of just meeting other than to show who you really are. That's really it. So I kind of feel like the reason why there's not much that they can talk about or get in depth about is because it just shows the fact that this is foolishness. To put this to even ask this kind of question, because men bring everything to the table: stability, protection, all of these things that we already know. And I feel like the deeper question is what I feel like this is an unnecessary question to ask men, because the ball is always in the woman's court. Because as a woman, however you come to a man, that's how he's going to come back to you. So when she's talking about like, oh, you shouldn't have a jump off at your house or whatever, he knows what it is. That woman knows what it is. I don't think that was necessary. Maybe, you know, for women it's a lot different, but for men, they don't care about that kind of stuff. They're not thinking about that. So I kind of feel like this conversation is getting a little bit like, it started off, like I said, pretty deep, and now we're like kind of like swimming off into the lazy river, just kind of like floating on to keep the time going. So yeah, so this conversation just went off on a tangent. So like I was saying, make sure you guys let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you guys subscribe to this channel. And as I always say, make sure that you follow me on Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.